Hey friends, I want to talk about this phrase, keep love in your heart, and what it means to me and the history of it. I did a blog post about this a while ago, but I think it's really good to talk about it as well. And I'm going to do my best to keep love in my heart as I talk about this. I would like to get to the point where I can keep love in my heart all day. I'm not there yet. I've been working out for years, but I can try and keep love in my heart this whole video. So a little bit of backstory, some good backstory, some Taschen lore. Let's get some lore in there. Bit of lore for good measure. Aye. I've always had catchphrases, things that I love saying, like happens to the best of us, and you are the best of us, or that's why they pay me the big bucks. There's a billion of them. I forget them. I have a thread somewhere on Twitter about them, because they come and go, and they have seasons, and but I've loved it. For some reason, I've had this personality quirk of always just saying the same damn thing over and over again. And when I was 17 or 18 or 19, I started saying, keep love in your heart all the time. I think I started saying in high school. It might have been associated with reading Erich Fromm's The Art of Loving, but I'm not 100% sure, which I have a blog post about as well, by the way. Terrific book, even though I have some qualifications about it. Really inspired me early on in my life. And my grandfather, who I loved and adored and looked up to, recommended it to me. And you can read my blog posts about the qualifications that I have about it. But anyway, whether it was from that book or just because I started saying the phrase, keep love in your heart. And I like to think actually that this was one of these, like, I talked about soul seeds recently, and that this was like a seed that was buried in my soul that was like, I'd done metta practice before in previous lives, and some part of me just knew, like, it's really important to be loving. It's really important to be kind and to embody that, to feel love in your heart, to do metta practice, to do the Brahma Viharas. And it's so funny. I remember I would say this catchphrase over and over again, and as catchphrases do, sometimes they get old for people. And there was this one guy, Phil, in college, who was like, Phil Schifrin. I don't think he would mind me telling this story, even though I haven't talked to him in quite a while. It's not really a very personal, revealing story. He was like, why are you saying that, Michael? Because my given name is Michael, and I wasn't Taschen yet. And I was like, well, I don't know, but you just got to keep love in your heart. And it was very like 17, 18-year-old energy. I was like idealistic, very black and white thinking. I was just like, keep love in your heart, keep love in your heart. You got to keep love in your heart. And he'd be like, what are you talking about? Very reasonably, like incredibly reasonably. And the thing is, I knew then what I know now, which is it's important to keep love in your heart, but I had no idea what the Brahma Viharas were or loving kindness. I just kind of knew on a deep principle level, like, you need to keep love in your heart. It matters. It matters to me to keep love in my heart. That's what my life is about, and that's what I'm here to remind people to do and to teach them to do. And of course, later on, I learned about metta and loving kindness and the Brahma Viharas, and now I actually know what that phrase means. I didn't know that. I couldn't have explained to Phil, here's what that meant. But now I could, which is, it's possible to think loving thoughts. It's possible for those loving thoughts to shape your emotional body and to cause you to feel certain loving, happy, joyful, caring emotions, to feel them actually in your body. You start to feel them in your body, specifically in the emotional heart, and then they radiate into the face and the whole chest and through the body, and you can feel them and bring those feelings up. You can learn to think thoughts that cause that in the heart, and then those become immersed in your experience. And once you do that, when you have love in your heart, when you're thinking loving thoughts and feeling loving feelings, you see yourself and others and the whole world in a kinder, more loving, respectful, caring way. And because you're perceiving self, other, and world in a loving way, you take actions that are more aligned with that love, which is to say kind actions. You're more kind to yourself, you're more kind to other people, you're more kind to the whole world. And that matters. And because in a bottom-up way, you start to change the world for the better. Not because you had some big plan that you figured out, here's how I'm going to save the world, here's the world's big problem, and I'm going to do these 10 huge global steps in this order, in this way, to solve this problem. No, you just, right here and now, loved yourself, loved other people, loved the world, you felt that in your body, and you took actions in accordance with that perception. That's it. And I'm 34 now, and I couldn't have said that as clearly when I was 17 or 18. I just said, I don't know, man, but keep love in your heart. Keep love in your heart. And presumably Phil was like, I don't know, bruh. But it feels good to know now what that means and to know how to practice it. So here's the thing. Once you start thinking loving thoughts and feeling loving feelings, then the goal has become so simple. It's like you've created a button for yourself and you just want to press it as many times as possible. It's like my hero Arnold Schwarzenegger says, like reps, 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 reps. He was saying that in the context of strength training, of course, building muscle, but then he generalized it to anything you care about, and that can include love. It becomes feasible and tractable to feel love in your heart, to think loving thoughts, feel love in your heart, see self, other, and world in loving ways, and that naturally creates the conditions whereby you act in kind, loving ways. And it really matters. It really matters. So, love in the heart, right now. Love. And you learn to think those thoughts such that it causes those feelings in the body, and then you entrain your nervous system, you entrain your body-mind perception to feel those feelings more and more, to think those thoughts more and more, have those thoughts cause those feelings more and more, and then you attend to them more and more, or the way that you pay attention to them changes, and then you enjoy it more and more, so that you're creating virtuous feedback loops where you can bring these thoughts and feelings up at will. You enjoy those feelings more deeply, they permeate your body more deeply, and then those affect your actions more clearly, so that you actually are love. You are love. You are an embodiment of love. You are love itself from the universe, embodied in a specific person at a specific time, manifesting in a specific way. But that's actually, you start to see at a deep level, I am love. You are love. The universe itself is love. You have these love colored goggles where you can see and recognize, I am love, you are love, the universe is love. Even these actions that seem cruel or unkind or tragic can, from a certain perspective, be seen as the love of the universe expressing itself in a way that is unknown to the mind, the conceptual mind, but is perceived by the heart as love, can be understood and felt through the heart, not through the mind, as love, as love. This is love. This also is love. Even this uncomfortable, unpleasant, unexpected, unpreferable experience that I do not like is itself love. Is the universe loving me, showing me how to move forward, how to grow, what the next step is, what I need to say yes to, what I need to say no to, how to care for myself. All of this can be seen as love. It's a way of seeing, right? So you may not believe that it truly is love in an ontological way, in a factual way, in a proven way. The mind may have objections. That's fine. But phenomenologically, perceptually, in the body, in an emotional, somatic, vivid way, you feel and experience yourself, others, and world as love. And that is a joyful, blissful, connected, empowering, and kind way to live, right? You basically do, in fact, take yourself to a heavenly realm. The traditional name of the Brahma Viharas is the divine abodes, the heavenly abodes. And you take yourself to a heavenly realm of perception when you cultivate these thoughts and feelings and perceptions, ways of seeing self, other, world. Your life just becomes more joyful and things move in a more fluid way where everything aligns with love. And is that perfect? No. Does it solve all your problems? No. Does it solve all the world's problems? No, not immediately. But you see it matters. You start to see love really, really matters. And I'm thinking of that phrase from Pascal where he says, Le cœur a ses raisons que la raison ne connaît pas, which means the heart has its reasons that reason knows not. The heart knows things that the mind, the intellect, logic will never understand in a logical, analytical way. And yet the heart knows. The heart knows. Love matters. Love matters. It really matters. And we start to embody that. We see that. We perceive that in ourselves and others and in the world. And we act in accordance with it. We flow in accordance with it. Our choices are themselves the manifestation of love. And once you have that button where those thoughts create those feelings, you slam it, you naturally want to do it all day long, as often as possible. And it becomes intuitively a goal. I should learn how to radiate loving kindness continuously all day long for the rest of my life. And it becomes clear this is possible. It becomes feasible. I'm not there yet, in all honesty. I've been working on it. But I know it's possible because I have followed my breath all day long before. And it takes an immense amount of concentration, but you can do it. And there's depth to how much concentration is possible. My concentration is here. It's not here, but it's definitely not here. And there's really no limit to it in the same way that there's no limit to love. And so I want to naturally grow that love over time. And I feel that I'm gravitating over time towards living in a body-mind that is capable to feel love constantly, to radiate love constantly. And I'm so excited to be that person that constantly radiates love, that lives from that place. And this is something we wove into the Guild Oath, the Service Guild Oath. For the Love Department, the statement for the Love Department members is, I aspire to keep love in my heart, to embody kindness with my life. I aspire to keep love in my heart, to embody kindness with my life. That means that we're feeling love, that we're seeing self, other, and world in this loving way that we can feel in our body, that becomes embodied, that becomes real, that's vivid. And from there to take actions and make choices and live in a way that embodies that kindness. I aspire to keep love in my heart, to embody kindness with my life. And it's an aspiration, right? All of this for me is an aspiration. And there's no limit to how much love is possible. There's no limit. That becomes very clear. Love is infinite. And there's always more love, which is humbling because we see, my love is here and there's infinitely more love. But it's encouraging because we just want to love more and more. We want to love ourselves, others, and the world more and more. And importantly, one last thing is, this is not distinct from kindness, in that kindness can be firm and strict and boundaried and clear and saying, no, that is not acceptable. It can even yell. Love can yell or be angry or firm, but it comes from kindness. It comes from care for self, other, and world. It's not niceness. It's not saccharineness. It's not just sweetness, even though I love those qualities. I believe very clearly, very firmly from my own experience that it's possible to be both kind and nice. But of course, if push comes to shove and you're not sure how to do that, you should choose kindness. You can choose kindness over niceness. Ideally, you hit both, but if you have to choose, if you don't know how to hit, you hit kindness. And so when I say I aspire to keep love in my heart, to embody kindness with my life, I don't mean to embody niceness with my life. It's not loving niceness, it's loving kindness. And so I pray that I will embody that kindness with my life, and coming to terms with anger, coming to terms with distrust, coming to terms with friction and conflict and repair of conflict and friction and rupture in connection, both individually and collectively. All of that, and even within ourselves, is so important for actually becoming able to embody that love in a full-hearted way. It's not just picking the nice, sweet parts of experience and doubling down on that. It's, of course, there's sweetness. Of course, there's kindness. Of course, there's niceness. There's still so much love and sweetness, but it also includes everything in the heart. Anger, rage, distrust, confusion, sadness and grief, fear, coming to terms with all of that and steering towards kindness, steering towards love, embodying that with one's life. So that's what it means to me to keep love in your heart. I'd be so curious to hear about your experience of this and any thoughts that you may have. Feel free to share them in the comments, and I am, in fact, sending you love. Take care, friends.